guys, what is up? This is Sadid here, and today I want to talk about the 5 reasons why I like retro gaming than modern gaming. Let's get started. But before I get started, subscribe, like, and turn your notifications on, and enjoy the video. Let's get started. Okay, first reason is number one, retro games are simple. Okay, what do I mean by simple? Let's just say you want to buy a game for your old systems, okay? It could be Super Nintendo, it could be PS1, it could be N64, whatever the system is. And you get the game, you pop it in, and you play it normally as it is, okay? That's why I like it, because there's not a lot of steps, not a lot of modifications that goes in, okay? But when you get a new system like a PS5 or a Series X, sometimes the worst thing is when you get the games, you pop the disc in the games, you put the disc inside, your PS5 or Xbox Series X. It has to download, it has to update, it has to get patches. It's ridiculous. And sometimes whenever you put the game in, sometimes your console doesn't have a lot of space. So what you have to do is you have to delete some of the games that were part of your console, just to free up the storage, just for you to download and play the game. When it does, the only thing that doesn't make sense is when you have the disc that you put inside the consoles. Why can't it just play normally as it is? Why do I need to download and update and delete some storages and all that stuff? It doesn't make sense, right? With retro games, it's simple. Get a cartridge, pop it in whatever system you get, and play it normally as it is, and you don't need any modifications, internet, and all that stuff. The second thing I don't like about the modern gaming titles is constantly you need internet to access everything. Now, I understand that, this is a new generation, this is a new era for gaming, and, a lot of things are technologically advanced, which is what I totally understand, right? But with retro games, I mentioned this before in the first part, the first reason why I like retro gaming better than modern gaming is that, the internet thing. But with the internet is not abused in retro consoles, okay? With retro systems, you pop in a game, you play it, and no matter what game it is enjoyable as it is. Sure, the graphics are not up to date, they may not look good, but they were great, and the games are fun. But with modern games, again, internet. When you get a physical game, when you pop it in, you have to update it. You have to get internet to download it when it is the physical version of the game, which is ridiculous. And why can't I pop the disc inside the console and play it? Why do I need the internet? This is complete bullshit, right? Complete bullshit. But I can't stop that. The third reason why I don't like, the third reason why I like retro gaming besides modern gaming is, well, they don't, they don't, they don't, market the graphics too much. Now, yes, in retro systems and with the video games, they do talk about graphics, but besides graphics, they talk about the gameplay. They talk about the story. They were immersive when it comes to the commercials back in the retro days about these consoles and video games. Let's say Mario 64. Okay, yeah, it was not a. Looking at it now, the graphics are not that great, but back in the day, it was all about the commercials were all about the gameplay, about Mario, about the atmosphere, about the open world environment, which is cool, and I love that. But with modern games, all they talk about is graphics. What about gameplay? What about frame rates? What about the performance? What about the storyline? What about the immersive environment you're in? Like, yeah, graphics are important too, but they're not as important compared to gameplay. I mean, you want to be able to you can have a great, game with shitty graphics, but as long as the gameplay is good, that's all that matters, and that was good about retro games. Graphics are simple, but you can still play the game normally as it is, and if it does well, there you go. But with modern games, oh, okay, it could be bad, but has great graphics, that'll be the main selling point. Horrible game design, horrible, marketing, and if you like the games because of its graphics, that's pathetic, okay? I do like graphics in games. I want better graphics. I do, but I like the gameplay more than I care about the graphics. And with retro games, just like I said, all they cared about is gameplay. All they cared about was the marketing the game properly, besides marketing the graphics too much. And that's what I like about retro games more than modern games. The fourth reason why I like, retro games is that you had variety of franchises to play. It wasn't just like Mario this, Mario that. Yeah? Okay. It wasn't just, I thought somebody called me, sorry. It wasn't just Mario this or Mario that. It was basically different franchises. You know, you had Zelda, you had Metroid, you had F Zero, you had Pilot Wings, you had Wave Race, you had all these other cool, franchises that made it to the market, and you had different selections and variety. But with modern games, you don't really have any selections and variety. It's either Call of Duty, Mario, Pokemon, basically the same regular shit. And I don't want those things. I want different franchises to be coming back. I want different franchises to play. I want to be able to enjoy those franchises. The new ones, the ones that I haven't been out in a long time, like Metroid and Star Fox, for instance, right? Things like that. But like I said, though, whatever makes the modern gaming companies a lot more money, and also a lot more popular when it comes to mascots, they'll take their popular mascots and basically shove it down to everybody and be like, there's going to be new Mario games, this and that, which is unnecessary, okay? I want to see different franchises come back that we haven't seen before. And that's what I like about retro games. Different franchises, and it made the games enjoyable. You know? And the fifth thing I like about, the fifth thing why I like retro games more than modern games is, the fact that, retro consoles or retro games had variety. They had simplicity. They had, different color options. I know color doesn't mean anything in a console, but it creates a expression. It creates a good look because you get to see different colors, different games that come out, different, I guess you could say, other artsy things about the consoles. It's just pretty cool. I want to see that in many consoles, but unfortunately, we get only black and white, which is kind of minimalistic. And I like to see different colors in these consoles. I want to see blue. I want to see red. And N64 had many different colors. The Fantastic series, and they had so many different colors that you can actually display on your shelf, and you can play the games in an amazing colorway and all that stuff. And it just, again, there's just more variety when it comes to these consoles. But the best thing I like about the retro systems a lot more is they're more memorable. Whatever system you had growing up as a kid or as an adult, they're more memorable to you. They had a lot more variety. They meant something to you, and it cannot, the legacy is not taken away because you played it growing up. You had all the games growing up, and you might have them, you might not. But even then, you can always go back and recollect them again and buy them again so you can play them. And that's why I like about retro games is that there's a market and a hot commodity and even a bigger commodity and even bigger community because people know that they love these things, they play them growing up, and they just want to replay them again. That is why I like retro games more than modern games. My opinion. But if you guys like the video, like and subscribe and turn your notifications on.